Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about James Gunn once again. So I don't think I've talked about James Gunn that much here, at least on this show a lot. The last video we did about James Gunn was we were talking about, like, I think our expectations for his Superman movie coming up in 2025. Because if people don't know this, if you've just been living under a rock, the guy that made the Guardians trilogy that you guys all know and love, well, that guy is now the Kevin Feige of DC, him and Peter Safran. They are the architects of the entire thing. And he's been getting questions recently about, like, okay, what are you going to do with this property? What are you going to do with this property? As you guys know, the DCU had its official debut with Creatures Commandos earlier this week at the time of us recording this video, actually. And the question came up and was like, what are you going to do about Robert Pattinson's Batman movie? You're going to bring that into the DCU? And then that's kind of where we're going to go with this. So Robert Pattinson's Batman movie kind of just reminds me of kind of like what like the Arkham games are. It's like its own isolated thing. I don't know if it would actually fit into a certain style of DC universe that he may be trying to go for. I think it's kind of better if it's in its own isolated form to a certain extent. Now, I guess the argument comes up usually with a lot of people is that, well, is that version of Batman going to confuse people with the other version of Batman he wants to bring out? Because he wants to do Batman Brave and the Bold, the story that Grant Morrison did where it first introduced Damian Wayne. And that movie was supposed to be directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash. And The Flash was just an egregious piece of shit. So I don't know, honestly. But he did talk about it, which we're going to go over right now. James Gunn explains why he decided against making Robert Pattinson's Batman the DCU's Batman. I mean, it would be the perfect opportunity to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I watched the Batman. I have to rewatch it again. On the second rewatch, I think I'll have a more full opinion of it. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, looks pretty good, sounds pretty good. And I didn't like some of the decisions made with the movie, actually, you know? Robert Pattinson could have been the DCU's Batman. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn recently confirmed that he contemplated bringing Pattinson to life in the DCU, but explained why he ultimately decided against it during a conversation with Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. Good Lord, what a name. What an actual name for a podcast. Holy shit. Tiny, do you run that? Happy, Sad, and Confused?
No.
Oh. You could have.
It doesn't have enough anger in it for me.
So happy, anger, and confused, right?
There you go.
Gunn appeared on Happy, Sad, Confused to promote the first entry in the DCU, Creature Commandos, where he discussed not only the adult animated series, but a wide range of projects that are currently in development at DC Studios, such as the Batman Part 2. After being asked by Horowitz if he ever thought about making Matt Reeves the Batman epic crime saga part of the DCU, Gunn, with a smile, said, "I've contemplated it. Yeah, I contemplate everything. I talk about everything." However, Gunn explained why he ultimately decided against the casting decision, believing that one of DC's strengths is its ability not to shy away from showing radically different versions of its popular superheroes. "I'm committed to both telling stories in the DCU and telling Elseworld stories. I want the freedom to tell Elseworld stories," Gunn stated. "We want to be able to tell a story about Superman that's different, a Red Sun story, whatever. We want to be able to play with these characters in different ways. I think that's part of the fun of DC." You know, I guess you can do that. It just depends on, like, is everyone going to gravitate to every single version of those characters? And keep in mind, people don't know DC's box offices have been pretty bad. So,
yep.
before any of that ever happens, starting off a solid foundation is good, you know. But I'll ask you guys, what do you guys think?
The groundwork already exists for every single thing DC needs to do in movies. It's existed for years. It's the DC animated movie universe. And I also do wholeheartedly believe that there is perfectly space, and you can make the audience understand the concept of an Elseworld. You know how you do it?
Yeah.
A 1-minute introduction in the beginning.
Yep.
In another world, separate from the one you've come to know. And you literally do a zoom out and you show the multiverse, and you have the camera pan to another Earth and goes, on Earth, yada, yada, yada. You name the Earth so these people understand that it's a different continuity.
Yeah.
And that way, you can name the same continuities, the same Earths. And that way you can build separate continuities if you so desire to.
Mm-hmm. Because people really believe, because the studios, we've heard many of them talk about audience confusion, this or that. Well, yeah, having different versions of these characters would confuse people to some degree, I'd imagine. But it's literally like, as you said, if it's going to be an Elseworld stories, I think he mentioned this a long time ago when he first got running DC, he's going to just make it DC Black Label. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just literally call it, for the intro, DC Black Label. Gunn previously touched on why the Batman was kept as a separate universe back in December 2023 after a fan asked why the Batman wasn't allowed to exist within the new DCU. Gunn revealed that it was Reeves who requested that his take on the Dark Knight remain untethered to a wider shared universe. It's not an allowed thing. It's Matt's choice, and we respect that, Gunn responded at the time. Based on Gunn's new comments, it's very likely that Robert Pattinson could have been the DCU's Batman had Reeves been open to the idea. Instead, the superhero will remain part of the Elseworld branding, with the next installment in the Batman epic crime saga set to hit theaters in 2026. Now, I'll be honest here, for the Batman 2, I've not really heard nothing much about it other than, hey, we're working on a script. That's it. We don't know who's going to be the villain, who's casted as a villain. I know they had that Barry Keoghan. He looks so awful. That was terrible. I don't know. I'm glad that was fucking cut. So
the villain for this movie should be Bane.
Do you think that would work for this kind of style?
Oh,
movie?
100. Yeah. So
Probably.
I mean, you remove some of
the
the more
original
fantastical...
Bane or the Bane that we've been getting these for the last like 10 or 20 years.
I'd go with the original Bane.
Was a fucking rapist murderer who volunteered for a science project so that he'd get life in prison instead of death.
All right, how about the middle ground Bane? You know, the one from like 40 years ago, after they got rid of that, where he's a luchador who's a bit of a druggie. Probably did do those things because I mean I'm pretty sure he was a part of the whatever the Spanish mafia is called. It's escaping my mind right now.
The cartels.
The cartel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a cartel member. So there's room for that kind of criminality. And it would kind of fit the edgier universe. But let's also don't forget, Bane is a genius. He has a genius level intellect that has never been utilized for anything else. So not only is Bane someone who exceeds
the original Bane was definitely not a genius.
Oh, and to add to your point, he's also a physical match for Batman too.
Well, he exceeds Batman's strength.
Mm-hmm.
Batman exceeds Bane's intellect, but they challenge each other.
Yeah.
Bane knows who Batman's at, but Bane figures out Batman's secret identity. So do that.
Yeah.
Well, I actually want to go back to something that Arza, you mentioned kind of just as a throwaway, which is as bad as almost every DC fucking movie has been, live action movie has been, somehow at the same time, the animated universe, the animated movies have been pretty fucking good. I mean, not necessarily perfect, but fucking worlds beyond what we get in the theaters with the live action shit.
Yeah.
Why can't they either put those in the theaters just as adult animation or follow the same fucking script? How is it so much harder to make a live action than to make an animated when they're both supposed to be following the same fucking storyboards, the comics?
He said that they're going to be utilizing everything. He said they're utilizing movies, TV, animation. That's why the whole all the universes from the animated series that we watched all the years all collapsed with the Crisis on Infinite Earths event that they did. So hopefully he utilizes animation because that's always been my thing too. I could care less if Robert Pattinson's Batman existed in that universe. Why doesn't hopefully he does this. Utilize DC's biggest strength, animation department. Now, some of the more recent variants I don't think are good at all, but they've had a lot more hits than misses most of the time.
Their version of Flashpoint was actually fucking Flashpoint at least.
Okay, but their version of Injustice is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Which one was that?
They did an
Injustice,
they,
Gods of
they
Gods
did
Among Us. I didn't see that.
The
in this
animated
movie.
one,
Okay.
oh, it was terrible. Yeah.
So what they did is they
That's-
took the Injustice Gods Among Us comic line spans
Mhm.
almost 6 years. They
Yeah.
compressed that all into an hour-long movie. So they cut out all the between stuff. They fucking killed the Flash and gave all of his roles to Mr. T.
Wow.
As
There's a scene.
He's
My
not
favorite
lying, yeah, it's
scene
true.
in comic books ever, and I hate that Tom Taylor wrote it because fuck that guy. But there's a scene where the Flash and Superman debate gun control while playing chess, and Superman walks up to Flash and says, "Do you know how to play chess?" Flash is like, "I played a bit as a child. Give me an hour and I'll learn." He does that, so they sit down and they're playing chess in super speed while they have an argument in normal speed.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time that Superman makes so Superman's like, I want to get rid of guns, checkmate. Flash's like, okay, and then he's paused and says, smoking, checkmate. And Superman's what? Well, smoking kills so many more people than guns. It's an excellent scene, and they removed all of that to give it to Mr. T, and instead of checkmate, it's just normal check.
I'll just say right now, with the whole animation thing he wants to do, please make sure if you're making a DC animated movie, we've not been getting the recent ones. I know most people think about the past ones, and they are really good. The recent ones they released are not good, and they need to really iron out who's working on them. Also, Robert Pattinson's Batman, from his first movie, how would I say this? I didn't like the Riddler. That wasn't the Riddler to me. Andy Serkis sucked as Alfred, so that was a terrible Alfred. I guess who was James Gordon? It was Jeffrey Wright. Ray swapped. I guess he kind of pulled out his best he could, but it's like, yeah, I think we should just stay away from that. Now, the other one he wants to do, this is Raven the Bold, which is Grant Morrison's one I have over there. I would like the idea more if Andy Muschietti wasn't directing it. I mean the guy that completely, I don't know how much involved he was writing the movie, because I know that was Christina Hodson who wrote Birds of Prey. Yeah, let's no. Okay.
I literally don't even like it being called that, because they just destroyed every single character of an entire team that I loved as a teenage girl.
How do you ruin Black Canary like that?
How do you fuck up Helena Bertinelli? Fucking Huntress.
Well, you don't like little homeless Antifa girl?
Yeah, it's the thing about picking the choices he has,
Let's not forget, the Brave and the Bold they want to do is going to star Damian Wayne.
How are they going to do this story? Remember, I know it's been kind of weirdly retconned in weird different ways throughout the year. In that run, Talia kind of does some inappropriate things to Bruce to make sure that
Talia straight up grapes Batman.
Yeah,
Talia
that's
his ass.
I don't know if it's going to be
Batman doesn't remember having a son.
Yeah, so we're at this point now.
He had no idea, and when she shows up and she goes, "Your son needs your help," and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then 10-year-old walks out. He's like the look on his face is like,
"Hi, father."
That also means that James Gunn's Batman has been Batman for 10 years. Probably closer to 12 years.
At least.
He would have to at least be in for classifying it in years, he'd be like in year 8. 9.
Well, no, because Damian is 10 years old when he's introduced.
And Talia doesn't get with Bruce until he's already been Batman for a while, and
so roughly about a decade plus, right?
To become the heir.
Whew, we got
are we going to show Damian's training? Are we going to see the 4-year-old forced to climb an icy mountain? Are we going to see
that'd be pretty fucking base.
Actually, no, that would be really cool to have a training montage with Damian Wayne.
All right,
that's their cool as shit.
So I'll ask you guys your final thoughts on this. Ours, we'll start with you. You like the idea of Pattinson not existing in whatever DCU that James Gunn's gonna put together?
There's a role for Robert Pattinson's Batman, the really grounded, edgy crime drama. It's not a movie; it's a TV show. Yeah. You make that as a Nerdrotic is right. You make that as a TV show. You focus exclusively on the more intellectual, more grounded, more gritty. Sally, no Mr. Freeze, no Joker. If you want to do a Joker-like character, you get Trickster, and that's it. No Joker, no Mad Hatter, none of the really crazy ones, but you focus on the grounded ones. You give us an actual Catwoman plotline, and you can make a really good TV show. And then James Gunn's, that Batman should be a year 0 or year 1 Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess he's taking it from the animated series approach, not animated series. Well, yeah, I mean, I think you could have that approach too. It's like the animated movies. You know, some of the animated movies didn't even have origin stories. They just kind of threw you in there and just made a good story
We don't
around
need it. We don't need it. We know Batman's origin story.
You could literally just do what the animated movies did. Most of them did not have origin stories. You just wrote a good movie and just had them in it. That's it. You know, it doesn't always have to be a thing. Tiny, what are your thoughts? You think it was a good idea not to put Pattinson in the DCU James Gunn's going to be making?
I'm one of the few people who doesn't really think that James Gunn's DCU universe is going to work. Personally, I was more excited for Superman before the costume reveal and then the crypto shit. I don't actually have high hopes for it personally, so I don't really care. And I didn't have a big love for Pattinson, so I don't really care where it goes.
Well, I never asked your opinion. Did you like his Batman movie?
I didn't see it. I went in, I saw part of it, and I had a pain spike so bad I had to leave the theater. So I never saw the fucking movie.
I think people really overrate it. I don't think it's as good as either Batman Begins or The Dark Knight. It's not even close to those levels. Not even close. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think if I were to give it, I don't give movie ratings anymore. But if I were to rate it, I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Probably somewhere around there. It's enjoyable. It's a slow burn, but it's not. I think it's a bad movie. I think it just gets wildly overrated by a lot of people. So my closing thoughts on this. I'll be honest. I think it's a good idea. I don't think that Batman kind of fits in what he's going to be doing, especially if you're going to be doing the Grant Morrison Batman run that he's going to be doing with Andy Muschietti. I just wish he wouldn't have hired Andy Muschietti, the person that completely destroyed who the Flash was. Good God. And Christina Hodson. Why is she involved in any of this? Why? Tom King, people said, Tom King has written stuff people do kind of like, on some degree. Not the Batman stuff, but some stuff he's written over the years.
Justin Justice, that's all.
You know? That's Tom Taylor.
You're right. Sorry, my bad.
So, we're digging in the trash can here for good writers. But, yeah, guys, I mean, I have hope for what he's going to do. I hope Superman's good. That's all I can really say. Superman's good. We can start building these slow steps with DC. It should all be slow steps, you know?
So the whole crypto thing doesn't upset either of you or make you think less of the upcoming movie?
Oh, no. It upsets me. Crypto should be a lab.
I don't know if dog breeds very well. That's my thing. He's a man with a dog. I like it.
Crypto should be a dog who's, when standing up,
I will agree with you on this
like
point.
5
I'll say
feet
this.
tall.
They could have just did it the way the Sonic movies did.
If they had crypto like they did from Young Justice, where Connor ends up with crypto instead of Soups, and that crypto is like fucking almost as big as Connor is.
Good lord,
okay,
man.
I can.
No,
follow
okay,
that.
you're right. You're right.
Crypto
should be a great Pyrenees.
Like they should do it the way the Sonic movies did. You know how they animate them in the movie? Just make a crypto like he looks like. I don't know dog breeds are well. The breed of dog he is, and just have him interact with that.
Generally shown as a white lab.
Yeah.
Or a white wolf, one or the other.
Yeah, just animate that. Like literally, that's what you would use your CGI on, animating that. Like James Gunn has to think he rescued the little guy. I was like, okay, that's kind of cute.
It's such a sweet story, and I'm glad that it happened to him. But the fact that he then was inspired to change the Superman storyline because of the dog kind of makes me like, oh, okay.
Tiny, let the man have his love with his dog. You love your cat who doesn't sometimes love you.
But the way you do that, then you give us crypto in the end credit scene.
Okay,
it's a dog.
Sure. That's what you do.
It's a dog.
Because crypto doesn't arrive to Earth until years after Superman settled. So if I get it, James Gunn loves his dog. I love my cat. I love my childhood dog. I love my put them in a movie. But I'm not gonna change the story to affirm my love for the animal, especially to such a large degree. Like I love three-legged cats. I'm not gonna cut a cat's leg off and put it in my movie just so I can have my cat represented.
All right, okay, Michael Myers, settle down. Okay.
I just said I'm not going to do that.
So, yeah, we'll see what the future of DC holds after Creature Commandos and Superman.
And so far, I have not heard good things about Creature Commandos.
Oh, it looks so bad. It looks worse than Harley Quinn.
Oh, that sucks to hear. Well, thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I'm MSK, aka Master Swag King. We're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace.